We will go ahead and get started this morning. Wow, what an attendance today. It is great to see all of you out. And I thank you for taking time out of your morning so that we can make this exciting announcement today. As you can see, we have several guests with us this morning to celebrate and kick off Lexington's Global Entrepreneurship Week. My name is Danny Murphy. I'm chair of the board here at Commerce Lexington. Before I invite the mayor up, I'd like to recognize a couple of our councilmen that are in attendance today. Jennifer Scutchfield and Bill Farmer. Thank you all for coming out today. We have several other guests that will be introduced as we go on this morning. But at this time, I'd like to bring up our mayor, Jim Gray, for an exciting company announcement. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Jim Gray.
So much, Danny. I appreciate your recognizing our council members Scutchfield and Farmer. The council is a big part of the annual commitment that is made to economic development through Commerce Lexington and the partnership. Looking out at this crowd today, it just reminds me. Routinely, I say that even on a bad day, I've got a great job. And today marks one of those days where it's just over the top in terms of great. Thank you all for being here. All of you in this room and beyond know that creating jobs is enormously important. In fact, there's a guy named Jim Clifton who's the president of the Gallup organization, the polling organization. He recently wrote a book called The Coming Jobs War. And in it he says, one line in boldface, he says, nothing is more important in the world than a good job. And I think perhaps in the last few years we've all recognized just how significant that is. It used to be, in my world, my business world, before this job, my job often was in the construction business of our family, was to recruit industries, to recruit manufacturing plants. First, mostly to Kentucky, some small towns in Kentucky, and then beyond the borders of Kentucky. 50 years ago, even 40 years ago, 30 years ago, people moved to where the jobs were. Think about it. IBM in Lexington. A lot of people moved here then. Today, jobs move to where the people are, where the talent is, where the quality of life is compelling, a premium quality of life, where they have the assets like we have here through our remarkable university system, the University of Kentucky, and the rich resources, research that offers, as well as BCTC, Transylvania, but a very robust climate for education, which means that Lexington is in a special place. Lexington is really, in many respects, just the place to be. So growing jobs is my first priority, and I know it's your first priority, because so much then comes from that. When people have purpose in life through a good job, so much comes from that. So today, we are celebrating, as Danny sort of teed up, thank you, Danny, we are celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week with 9 new companies that have created 190 jobs here this year and are investing $7.5 million in our economy. Working, yes, that was the my notes didn't say applause line, but thank you all for acknowledging that. Working with the state and federal government on economic development, Lexington has found success over and above our competing counterpart cities, especially in attracting high technology companies like these 9. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, Money Magazine recognized Lexington as the 17th highest market in performance in terms of creating high technology jobs, and that included the epicenter like Silicon Valley, San Francisco, New York, Washington, and other cities, major metropolitan areas in the country. It also included Ann Arbor, Madison, other university cities like us. Now we are growing our competitive advantage with the establishment of the Jobs Fund in Lexington, which is a unique local program that will make Lexington even more attractive to industries with high wages. As many of you know, Lexington has been reaching out and moving up on the curve for higher technology economic development, while not ever abandoning a diverse economy and jobs that are for our working skill level jobs. To help close that gap, to help close the gap between Lexington and competing cities, university cities especially, like the Ann Arbors, like the Austins, like the Madisons, our council, I proposed and our council has approved the creation of a $1 million fund to make smart investments that directly boost job growth. The Jobs Fund will allow Lexington to provide gap financing through loans or grants for capital investment and workforce training to companies that are already investing significant dollars to add jobs in high-growth industries. Assisting local business growth is also a top priority of this proposal. So the plan includes grants for operational support, such as workforce training and rent subsidies, and loans for capital infrastructure needs. The Bluegrass Business Development Partnership, the city, that is the city, the University and Commerce Lexington, has been a useful tool in helping Lexington attract and grow jobs. In 2013, more than 500 jobs have been created with the assistance of the partnership and the state, including the ones that we're talking about today. But we know there's more work to do, continuous improvement. The Jobs Fund will support these efforts. Now it is my pleasure to present this proclamation declaring this week, November 18th through the 22nd, as Global Entrepreneurs Week, to Warren Nash, who is Director of the University of Kentucky Innovation and, you got it, thank you. I was wondering, where is the proclamation, Warren? Some of you all know that you're in the middle of something like this, and come on up here, Sheree. All right, so I get to present this proclamation that Warren has back to Warren. It works. He owns it, you see. That's right. All right, let me tell y'all a little bit about this. So Warren, as many of you know, has done a remarkable job as director of the University of Kentucky's Innovation and Commercialization Center. And Sheree Hawkins, right there working with him. You know, talk about a partnership. Talk about a team. This is one. Sheree is director of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center. And I'm going to present this as the first part of my little presentation. Again, Global Entrepreneurship Week to you guys, and that is an applause line too, if y'all want to help us. And now, this is where we need a drum roll. Now, to recognize the 9 entrepreneurs, their businesses, I'm going to call their names and congratulate them all and welcome them to our city. First is Bauer Labs. I met Dr. Bauer, and I don't know exactly the protocol. Are they going to come up here, Kimberly? You want them afterwards? All right. Well, Doctor, why don't you stand up, please? All right. Yes, sir. Right here. And Directed Energy. Directed Energy. And Hitron Technologies. Mercury Data Systems, New Global Systems for Intelligent Transportation Management, Nickel Aldi Research and Development, Gnomes Technologies, Science Tomorrow, and Twin Star TDS LLC. Please join me in welcoming all of these companies. Danny? Yes, sir.
And thank you, Mayor, for your commitment and support of the Bluegrass Business Development Partnership and its recruitment of these SBIR companies that are now calling Lexington home. We are excited that you are bringing your high-tech companies here to the Bluegrass region, and along with the great jobs and the cutting-edge technology that you will have for us here in Central Kentucky. I would like to now introduce U.S. Congressman Andy Barr, who represents the 6th Congressional District of Kentucky. We're honored to have you here today. Please help me in welcoming Congressman Barr.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you to the mayor and to Councilwoman Scutchfield and Councilman Farmer. Thanks to Commerce Lexington, thanks to the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Government, and thanks to the University of Kentucky, and in particular, Dean Blackwell and the Gatton College of Business for this important announcement today and the partnership that is demonstrated here today. A partnership between the city, the University of Kentucky, Commerce Lexington, and the federal government. This is the start of the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and I'm very proud to have been invited to be part of kicking off Global Entrepreneurship Week with such a great example of how public-private partnerships can work to facilitate entrepreneurship. And I really want to thank all the companies, the entrepreneurs, and the CEOs who are here today. These companies are being recognized and they represent the future of a variety of industries and sectors of our economy. Healthcare, energy, renewable energy, biopharmaceuticals, and research is what fuels a lot of these technological innovations, and that's critical in fostering the vitality of the U.S. science and technology enterprise and the growth of highly skilled jobs. And at the end of the day, that's what this is about, is creating opportunity for people. And these companies have made a commitment to Central Kentucky and have made an investment in Central Kentucky. And that's creating opportunity. The mayor pointed out 190 jobs. And as these companies grow, these companies are going to be providing even more jobs and more opportunity for more of our citizens. And although industry funds about 2/3 of U.S. R&D, the federal government helps underwrite our national infrastructure for science and engineering, R&D programs like the SBIR. And we were talking with some of the entrepreneurs upstairs just before this press conference. And what was emphasized to me was how important the certainty and stability is to provide the environment in which these grants can be provided. Congress sometimes has a habit of getting in the way, of creating uncertainty, an environment of uncertainty. The sequester is a problem in terms of creating uncertainty in what the availability and stability of those research R&D dollars are going to be. So we've got to do a lot better in Congress to create that environment of certainty. But I want to applaud, this is a day of celebration of how these public-private partnerships can work. The SBIR program is important. We need to probably, we were talking to some of the entrepreneurs about how we can streamline and increase the flexibility of the SBIR program so that it can actually help these companies who are startups in many cases and have cash flow issues to make sure that the grants go as far as they need to go. But I want to also applaud the partners here in the state. The state and the city, the rent subsidy program that the city has offered, the match that the state has offered has really leveraged the SBIR program from the federal level and enhanced it right here in Lexington. And that's one of the reasons why many of these companies are here. But I want to kind of end my comments with what this celebration is really about. And it's about these entrepreneurs. It's about these scientists and these researchers. And you think of the great entrepreneurs in American history, the Thomas Edisons and the Henry Fords and the Sam Waltons and the Ray Krocs of the world and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Walt Disney. And what do these people have in common? It's the same quality and character that these entrepreneurs have here today. They dream and they innovate. Yes, they create jobs, but it all starts with a dream. And to animate that dream, they have to work hard. They have to put a lot of persistence in, and they have to fail over and over again. And I love quotes, so I want to read a couple of quotes from these great entrepreneurs that I think helps us celebrate the entrepreneurs with us here in this room. And what Thomas Edison said was, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." And I would think that many of you entrepreneurs in the room can appreciate the fact that it takes a lot of perspiration to get where you want to go. And Edison also said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." And I know you can appreciate that as well. And as the father of 2 young daughters, I'll end with a quote from Walt Disney, who was a great dreamer, as all of you all are. And he said, "All dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." Thank you all for having the courage to pursue your dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman, and for your work on our behalf in Washington for the 6th Congressional District. It is my pleasure to serve on the Commerce Lexington Board of Directors with our next speaker. He's also one of my colleagues at the University of Kentucky. Dr. David Blackwell is Dean of the University of Kentucky Gatton College of Business and Economics. His support of the BBVP is very much appreciated, and so please join me with a round of applause for Dean Blackwell.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for including me in this great event, this great celebration. It really is an indication of an important part of the mission of the University of Kentucky and the Gatton College of Business and Economics, and that's engagement and outreach. It's part of our mission to help grow this economy in this state, and we're very proud to be a part of this event today. This has been a very exciting year for the Gatton College of Business and Economics. Not only did we recently start digging a big hole over on Limestone for our new academic building, but this last summer, we welcomed back into the college the Van Allman Center for Entrepreneurship and the Lexington Innovation and Commercialization Center. The Van Allman Center and the Lexington ICC have been key partners with the city and Commerce Lexington in the recruitment of the startup technology companies that we are celebrating today. Utilizing the award-winning rent subsidy program provided by the city, leveraging Kentucky's great SBIR, STTR matching program, and given the intellectual assets of UK's faculty and researchers, as well as many of its labs and research facilities, the Bluegrass Business Development Partnership team has truly hit a home run with the addition of these companies to the growing entrepreneurial landscape of Lexington and Kentucky. The University of Kentucky and the Gatton College are pleased to be a part of the exciting effort in attracting these companies from across the country to Lexington. UK recognizes the importance of the research and development and commercialization which these companies are conducting that spans the technology spectrum from developing new medical devices, software and information technology platforms, ultraviolet lighting applications, new materials, advanced manufacturing processes, and novel materials for lithium batteries. I want to add my warm welcome to the people behind these companies. On behalf of UK, I wish the very best to you and your families as you settle into our community, and I wish you great success in your endeavors. I hope you won't hesitate to reach out to me or to the staff of the Van Allman Center of Entrepreneurship to help you to stay engaged with UK, or if there's some way that we can help you to advance your companies. UK looks forward to future collaborative efforts with all of you, and we encourage you to keep innovating and to see blue.
Thank you, Dean Blackwell. I think the mayor and congressman would agree with me that the real reason we're here today are to celebrate these companies and for what they're bringing here to Central Kentucky. And from several speakers as we come forward to recognize these great companies. To speak on behalf of the new companies, I would like to ask Mr. Jim Stice, President and CEO of Twin Star TDS, to come forward with a few remarks. Mr. Stice.
Twin Star is a medical device company, and we have a unique catheter that can be used to actually drain tissue, and we have FDA approval on our first product, and we've launched that first product. We're in the midst of getting a human study approval for the second product, which actually reduces the swelling from traumatic brain injury. The third product that we'll be developing here in Kentucky will actually be a catheter that we can use to infuse drugs directly into tumors. And we're being supported in this activity by the NIH grant, our SBIR grant. It's a $2 million grant, and we expect to use this grant to get actually FDA approval by the middle of next year. The reason we want to develop this product, of course, is that we can, by locally delivering those drugs, we can reduce the side effects of chemo. But getting to the Kentucky SBIR match program, we're using those proceeds actually to commercialize the device. We're in the midst of pre-launch activities right now, and we would expect to begin to offer it to pharmaceutical companies sometime in the middle of next year. I actually have a prototype on me if you want to see if we are that close. But in any case, we are moving fairly quickly in commercializing this device. And our Kentucky operation that we've located here in Lexington will be staffed by 4 people. I'll be business development. We'll have 3 product development people, 1 relocating from Minnesota, 2 that we'll actually hire here in Lexington. And we really selected Lexington because of its community support. I think this is all evidence of this support, the great gathering that you have here today. If I point out a few examples in terms of things that were important to Twin Star, number 1, we have ongoing collaborative discussions with the University of Kentucky on a liver tumor program that we hope to be in clinical trials by maybe as late as early as next year. Warren Nash was very critical to helping us set up those kinds of programs. We're taking advantage of the RED subsidy program from the business development, Bluegrass Business Development Partnership Program. Just to list another one, in terms of relocating and all the sorts of activities that have to go on there. We've been very appreciative of the kinds of services Margaret Ridley has been able to help us with and get a facility set up. And then I guess just to mention a last one, in terms of banking and lines of credit, Community Trust and Lori Forrester has been helpful in terms of getting us started down the path there. And as everyone's mentioned, of course, there's many other people behind the scenes here helping, and I look forward to meeting you and thanking you at some later date. With that, I'll just close real quickly by saying we're excited to be here in Lexington and in Kentucky, and very appreciative of your support. Thank you.
Danny gave me a little permission to go off agenda here for just a second, but it's just a little footnote that I think would be worthwhile. You know, as we gather in an event like this, celebrating innovation and invention and start of businesses, I think it's worthwhile also to recognize how the circle comes around. There are a couple of guests here today from beyond the city limits and beyond even the state borders who have made a contribution to our city through our university. And David Blackwell, David, you know exactly who I'm talking about here, and I'm hoping that these guys will that they probably prefer to be a bee on the wall. But from Washington, visiting with the dean is Jim and Bill Seal. And they provided the lead gift for the Gatton School where the dean was just describing, where groundbreaking has just occurred. Well, they happen to be in town. The dean invited them to this event today. But it's a message, I think, for all of us. Jim went to school at UK. Bill did too. They went away. They did well. And they never forgot the contribution. They never forgot what they learned here and how it influenced their lives. And the message for all of us is, and especially for you budding entrepreneurs that are starting these businesses here. I did sort of the same thing myself. I came here 30 years ago and opened a one-person shop. Today, our family business employs more than 500 people right here. And over time, we've been able to give back to community. And I think that's the message, you know, in the spirit of America, so much that we are also celebrating here. As the late W.T. Young used to say, many of you all in this room knew Bill Young. He was pretty much a rags to wealth story. And he would often say, the more you give in life, the more you get. And I think that is as much a message for us today as the celebration of these entrepreneurs and this new spirit of adventure that we're celebrating here. So, Danny, thanks for giving me a little off-message permission.
You won't have me in the video today telling the mayor no. Great remarks, great follow-up, Mayor. We appreciate you for that. I'm just going to ask the companies, just real quick, turn around and look at this crowd. Turn around and look at who's behind you here today. And I really hope that this is confirmation that Lexington really is a great place to do business. And I hope it signifies that we really do want you here and we welcome you here today. So thank you again for choosing Lexington. This is a true testament to the vibrant entrepreneurial and high-tech community here in Lexington, or you are that true testament. And you can see that these companies were drawn to Lexington for the very reason and the foundation that we're establishing. This is just the first event of Lexington's Global Entrepreneurship Week. So please be sure to pick up a copy of the week-long activities as you leave today, and we hope to see you at other events this week. I want to go off script as well, and also thank Jenna Greathouse, Kimberly Rossetti, Kevin Atkins, Warren Nash, Cherie Hawkins, so many others for your work on economic development for here in the Bluegrass region. I'd like to invite any questions from the media at this time. If none, then I'd ask the representatives for our companies to stand one time for us, if you will. And if you will face the room, and let's give them another round of applause. I'd ask the companies to now come up front for a photo, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending the event today. This concludes our program.